It is the Raya Podcast. Welcome to Wednesday, May 10th. Who's got something good to say?
Boom, 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 bing.
I think the whole
That's going to help our retention metrics.
You like that? Out there. Darn it, I forgot about that.
We want to retain you. We want you to keep listening through this
It's too
entire
late.
thing.
They're
Nikki,
gone.
you're
It
going
is
to-
too
yeah,
late.
uh-huh.
Darn it, I blew it. It's okay.
Please don't ever leave us when he says boom, boom, bang, bing.
Yeah. I was
Hopefully,
counting on you.
I didn't know you were going to do that, or else I would have
Yeah.
been better. I would have had something
I
ready.
can't do it every day.
I should have had something ready.
hopefully everything in the podcast, though, is good enough to keep you listening during this entire one.
You know what? Actually, we got a good comment yesterday. David texted in because we asked, it's like, do you like, what should we do with these podcast intros? And David said, make them as long as you want.
Well, we didn't know if you enjoy the podcast length, or do you like the podcast intro just being about what's in the podcast, like a heads up, or do you like it when it's completely off subject and off topic? So yeah, I think what he would like is us to just do more podcasts.
It sounds like he just wants a whole other podcast.
Yeah,
is
of
what it
all
sounds
new
like.
stuff.
But hey, I love to hear that, but I also hate to hear it because that's more work for me.
More talking.
Yeah. I was hoping people would say, you should not do the intro.
Keep it short.
One less thing of work we'd have to do.
Well, feel free to text us anytime you have something you want to add to 877-2-RADIO-U, just like William and others. We do a Would You Rather Wednesday question that gets a lot of good response. So if there's something you want to add to it, please text us.
Let's get to the good stuff. What did we say? We talked about Robert De Niro
Oh, that's in
having
here.
another child at an old age, 80 years old, something like that. But I wanted to differ off of that.
Okay.
How old would my girlfriend have to be for you guys to feel
To
uncomfortable?
question it.
Old or young? So you mean like an older?
Old, yeah, older. Because if I
Well,
went,
young is
if I went
pretty
young,
clear.
clearly under the age of 18.
I know that, but to me, it's only gross because I don't like the old Hollywood guys that are, it's obviously like a 30, 40-year age gap. They were married before and they have lots of kids, and now they're, like what we talked about, like Dick Van Dyke in this. Like every time I see a picture, they're always being handheld, not in a loving couple way, but like,
Let me
they're
help you.
They're so old, they have to be helped.
Well,
that
someone's got to help them.
it shouldn't be your much, much younger.
If that's what she wants to do, though.
I don't
She's
know.
a caretaker.
It's that.
But yeah, for me, how old do you think? Like,
I think 10 or 15 is,
10 or 15
is
years?
usually fine.
so if she was like 40, cool.
Yeah, sure.
What about 50? What if it was like Karen? Who works at Radio U.
Well, she's taken, but she's flattered.
Darn it.
I don't know. That's why I appreciate Keanu Reeves' relationship. Because everybody always posts about how he is a non-toxic guy who's dating someone his actual age. So it's always nice to see.
I think in principle, I'd just be fine with anything.
Anything?
You'd be happy with
As
anything.
long as it's legal.
True.
If
That's
if
where we're at
if
now
an
at Radio
80-year-old
U.
woman is happy with you, more power to her.
Gosh, you're right.
I also think you're not wealthy enough to worry about
I know.
too much.
But
No,
that's the point.
thing. He
Nikki,
would have to be
it's
a
me.
wealthy,
I'm the poor
woman.
one.
You're the poor.
They're
Yeah.
the rich one.
Actually, that is true. A lot
I'm
of
the
times,
sugar baby.
Sometimes when the woman's older, it's a case of that compared to like if the man's older, it's messy, guys.
Power dynamic would be weird because yet again I would be the sugar baby, but yet again I'm okay with that.
You're fine. You're perfectly okay.
We talked about that.
Oh,
we
and congratulations
Yeah,
if you
thank
find someone.
we also talked about guilt tipping.
Yeah.
We hate it. Goodness, do we hate it? And now it's a self checkout. So
Yes, it's
soak
something that
in.
you'll see more frequently at places where there's no one there to help you anyways. So
Yeah.
are you supposed to guilt tip?
And to preempt, because some people texted in and were like, well, what if it goes to charity or whatever? Let me tell you something about charity. As somebody who works at a nonprofit, you can donate directly to the charity.
Exactly. Well, they were saying some ballparks or some places will take tips and then pull that together to give, like, it could be a certain night for a certain charity. But I think based on what we were talking about, the beer cooler at the Padres game
Yeah.
is not tipping
Definitely
it.
different.
that's not going to the little
It's
kids
not.
club.
No,
all
it's
right.
not. And I think we're pretty confident in saying that. But that is a good point if you know for sure that it is. If not, I don't think they're
I
really
don't
doing
really
it.
like. I mean, I donate to charity. I don't like when other places are telling me, hey, why don't you roll over your change to this charity? It's like, no, I'll do it myself. I can do it
Yeah.
myself. Why do I trust you to do it?
Yeah, that's true.
I barely trust you to do anything.
Okay, so guilt tipping aside, that's also a big guilt thing because I went through Culver's the other day and they're like, "Do you want
they tried to round up?
Every
Do you do
place
it?
now. I did.
Did you round up?
I did, but it was only just it wasn't a lot. But that's every
At least
place
it's a charity.
now
Yeah,
will
they
do
love rounding
it,
up.
and so you don't know, is it really going someplace?
McDonald's always, they have like their Ronald McDonald whatever club where they always ask you to round up. And I feel the wildest thing is when you say no to that.
Yeah.
Because they're like, would you like to round up your 11 cents? And I'm like, no.
No.
Need that dime.
You know what? I get it. If I would do it if I was paying with cash.
Yeah.
Because what am I going to do with those coins anyways?
Exactly.
Eventually take them to Coinstar or something. But like if you, for many bank cards and stuff, you can round up every transaction and put it into savings or whatever.
You could.
So
that's a smarter approach.
Just smart. And then I'll donate that to charity maybe one day.
So I feel like we're getting
my choice.
guilted even when checking out and just the averaging up.
That's what's ruined it for me too, is all the guilt tipping has now ruined the roundup thing for me. Because now whenever my total is, I'm like, nope, nothing else. Stop it. Quit it.
Dude, that's
Stop
when
asking
you really
me.
feel like
but
a jerk.
before this, like before all the guilt tipping stuff, if they asked me to round up, I would round up every single time.
Yeah.
But now because they're always asking me all these questions afterwards, like, would you like to tip this? Would you like to do this? I'm like, no, just my total. Just the hamburger.
And
That's
it's
all I
hard
want.
because the more they ask and the more you get hit, the less likely you'll be able to go to that place because then you
Yep.
feel bad because you feel horrible because you're being guilted. So,
Yeah.
Guilt tipping.
guys, it just upsets
Quit.
you even when you talk about it for the second time.
Just quit it. Quit asking me. Just quit asking.
So please be upset with us and text us at 877-2-RADIO-U and make
Someone's
sure you
going to
say
have a good
hi.
reason why we're wrong, I'm sure.
Yeah, I guess. Make
They're
us
like,
feel
you
bad.
should tip. I don't care what you said.
No, we always tip every other place.
I tip.
Where it's appropriate.
Where you're supposed to.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
evidence. And I always tip the right amount, all that jazz. But when you're asking me to tip at AutoZone, now why in the world would I tip you if all you did is just check me out? All you did was just
calm
check me
down,
out.
Calm down.
I
Calm
hate it.
You
down.
scanned a barcode.
You scan the barcode and you checked me out.
20% of this transaction,
You didn't do
please.
anything else.
Well, we'll let you go so you can hear us get mad about things again. All right. Enjoy the podcast today.
Catch
See
you
you
next
guys.
time.
Bye.
This is Radio U's Worst of the Riot.
I don't know if this counts as good stuff. Have you guys seen the influencer that has confessed to eating her own knee cartilage?
Thankfully that's not made it to my For You page. So I have not seen that.
Does that bother you?
Yeah, it does.
This knee cartilage eating?
I mean, it's
what's-
pretty disgusting.
What does knee cartilage look like?
You know what? I don't know. You want me to look it up and show a picture to you? Hold
Well,
on.
I mean, maybe keep the picture to
Hold
yourself.
on.
Maybe
I'm
I'll just
looking it up.
I'll live the rest of my life wondering.
So you know what she ate. Well, what about like a little cartoon kind of looking deal? How
That
about
won't gross me out as much.
Yeah, here you go. See, it's this, I guess it's this blue part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Does that
Oh.
work for you?
It's better than like my leg or something. Like instead of eating the meat.
It's
but-
cartilage. It's like the same stuff as in your nose and ears.
Yeah, okay.
And so you want to know why she did it?
It's probably
Or how,
They
even?
probably believe it's healthier for you.
No.
Like recovery
I
or
don't
something.
think human flesh is usually the.
Well, no, it's cartilage. So
I don't
mean,
care what it is, Nikki. If it's on my body, I don't think someone needs to eat it.
I agree with you on that, but sometimes what people do when it's gross, they're like, "But it's good for you."
Yeah, like, like the placenta or whatever.
Sure,
Like
There's
it
a lot
could
of
be-
things that are good for you that people don't even do every day. So
That works for
I don't
Tom
want to hear
Cruise
it.
or whatever.
I'd rather
all right.
start with spinach or
Let-
something.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this story. So she had a torn meniscus. It's a common sports injury. My uncle had a torn meniscus. So when you have a torn meniscus, they do an arthroscopic surgery. The surgeon will like drill little tiny holes in your knee, and she stayed awake for it. You can do that. Now that's the crazy part to me. She wanted to watch.
Weirdo. Continue.
So she could watch the surgery, and then he pulled out like part of the torn off meniscus, and so the rest of it can heal. And then he is like, "Do you want to take this back with you?" Because they sometimes do that after surgeries, right?
You get to keep.
Or you get
well,
to keep your stuff.
I don't think that's often, or at least
I
I
don't
don't
think-
think a lot of people take you up on it.
Yeah, I don't think many people opt for it, but she did. She says he gave it to her in like a little cup, like you would do.
Like
I
a
don't know.
jar?
Why did she say this? Like you would have for a urine sample.
Yeah,
Why
like-
would you use that as your example? But you're not helping your cause here. But she got it. She preserved it in some kind of alcohol, she says. And then fast forward like a week later, her and her boyfriend are having a jokey conversation where she says, I feel like I want to eat my removed knee cartilage. And this is her quote, because it was a part of me and I had to put it back in my body.
Yuck.
And so she whipped up a spaghetti bolognese sauce, which sounds delicious, and added the knee cartilage into that.
And they ate it?
And they ate it.
So the boyfriend ate it too?
Possibly. I don't know. See,
Possibly.
I'm wondering. I don't know how big this piece was and how chopped up it was. If it's cartilage, I imagine it'd be hard to chop up.
Sure.
And it couldn't have been so large anyway. So maybe it's just a mystery. Maybe one ate it, one didn't. Or I don't know if they were like, all right, you get half. But nevertheless, it's been ingested.
Listen, because they took it out, your body was rejecting it. Your body didn't like it. It wanted it out. It doesn't want you to eat it, and you did. I feel a bit of it maybe for attention.
Hey, it's working.
Just curious enough, so that's why they did it.
Yeah, there's a lot of influencers that are very beautiful, and it's hard to stand out. And she found her niche. She found her way to stand out, and she does have a good point here. She says she doesn't think it's weird because everyone has eaten the bones, cartilage, and body parts of worse animals.
Well, just not your own. Normally, we don't do that.
I mean, if you could ever assure something is safe, it's your own body that
Nope.
you could eat.
Again, they took it out for a reason, so it's
Because it was
gross.
torn. It wasn't infected.
Do you think she's worse or the boyfriend? Because I kind of think the boyfriend's worse.
I don't know. I think this is all just so wrong. I would never do it. I could never pull myself to something like this. But then the whole time the story was going on,
Yeah.
I wasn't looking at the pictures. She's stunning. This is wild. You would never expect her to do this.
You wouldn't
She's
expect.
gorgeous.
You wouldn't
Probably.
expect stunning crazy.
Yeah, that was wild. I wasn't like, when I clicked on the pictures, I was like, what the heck? She's a model. Like,
That's probably why when she said, I need to eat my knee cartilage because it was a part of me and I need it back in my body, her boyfriend didn't go, I'm out.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
sometimes when you're so beautiful, no one's telling you no when you should be hearing a really strong no.
Oh, I would have eaten it. I would have for sure eaten it. If she was like, you want this? I'd be like, if you want me to, I guess I
Maybe.
have to.
Maybe that's her key to beauty,
That could be
is
it.
eating her own rejected body parts.
I love that so much. You're like, no, I just don't leave me. I'll eat it. It's fine.
This is The Riot. Radio U.
I've got a story about a guy that's taking extreme measures to save money, and I think it's inspirational for all of us. This guy, he's a single dad in Australia, and he recently suffered an accident at work that left him unable to actually, he wasn't able to work, so he's living off of workman's comp pay.
Yeah.
Which isn't apparently a ton. And so he's had to find some pretty wild ways to cut down on his budget. And this is also crazy, though. I was looking, he has, so the thing he is trying to save money was on his electric bill.
Oh, that's the thing they say is going to hit everybody hard it's already hit everybody hard, but it'll be harder this summer.
I don't know how long, like if this was, maybe this is a couple months that he went without paying it before they finally are like, we're going to disconnect. So he had a $1,351
Electric
bill?
bill? For what?
Yeah, what was
How
he
much?
doing?
What did he leave on?
I don't know what.
Everything,
Oh
Nikki.
my God.
I mean, he has
Everything.
kids, so they are probably, maybe it's the kids.
Oh, I don't know. I've not heard of it.
1,000?
Maybe
That's
there's
crazy.
Maybe it's converted differently or something to like US.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they only do it every 6 months or something like that.
Maybe.
but
Please tell us that's not normal.
Nevertheless, he's got to pay it, right? He's got to pay it or he's not going to have electricity. So he's got to cut back. And also, you see that's an eye-popping number. You've got to cut back on your electric bill. So here's one of the ways that he decided to combat that. He now in his home has one light bulb.
One light bulb?
And so when he goes from room to room, he carries the light bulb with him.
He
He'll
does.
unscrew it and take it to the other
Oh,
room.
like a lantern.
He's
So, yeah,
he's
pretty
serious about
much.
it. Well, does his kids get their own light bulb or do they have to walk around him?
They follow him.
They follow
Yeah.
Or they
him.
sit or they sit in darkness.
They say it was desperate measures.
He also doesn't eat food that requires cooking, doesn't take hot showers, and doesn't turn on the light, use that light bulb until the sun goes completely down.
Oh, really?
The sun sets.
Now, he said he's a single dad.
Uh-huh.
I don't see that changing anytime
I don't think so either.
If I understand
Now-
Well, you know what?
budgets.
He also wouldn't be getting a lot of dates if he becomes homeless or
That's-
something.
Now
Oh,
so-
listen,
true,
Nikki.
true.
I think that he needs to go about this a different way, especially if he wants to find a woman. He needs to just cut out that light bulb. He needs to go all candles.
Yeah.
Get the place smelling good, the romance up. It's dark in there,
He's-
yes, but flame lit. Just every room. I want a candle in there.
I know that sounds nice, but I feel like then you're burning your house down accidentally eventually.
Oh, it's gonna be hot.
He doesn't have to. He's not able to go to work, so he's got nowhere to go.
Oh
so he
man,
can
it's just
stay
tough
there, make
there.
sure it's safe.
His rent was increased. He's just always, he says, in survival mode because it's exhausting because you realize it's not a temporary thing. And they just say that it is so difficult for so many people there. And I did the conversion because in Australian money for US dollars, it was $1,351.40 for his last bill.
Ouch.
That's
is
crazy.
outrageous. Well,
Aw.
look, if you're having money problems, it's your own fault. You've got to do these kind of things.
This is the measures you have to
The
take.
only thing preventing you from having money is having only one light bulb and not eating food that requires cooking.
I just like
Then you can be rich.
poor kids are like, Dad, I want to go in, the office or something. And you're like, well, take the light bulb, son.
Take that bulb with you, boy.
Don't turn anything else on.
Yeah.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
Let me talk to you about Joey Batista. If you're a reality TV junkie, he might sound familiar to you if you're like really, really into reality TV. He was on the show Kate Plus Date on TLC a while back.
Okay.
That's Kate, like John and Kate Plus 8.
Yeah.
Like Kate Gosselin.
Okay.
He dated her twice on the show.
Interesting.
Didn't work out. He also has dated at least 599 other women at least once where it didn't work out.
So he's a serial dater?
He's been on over 600 first dates.
Ooh.
He's 43 years old, and he still hasn't found the one. He says,
Don't know. I don't want to throw, date stones at someone, but if he's going on so many first dates, why do they never go to the second date?
maybe it's his choice.
Then he's not doing it right. He needs to change it. If he's tired of being alone, he would love to meet someone. Sometimes you got to get past the first date and keep trying,
Well, he got to the second date with Kate.
I guess.
It still didn't work out.
I guess.
It sounds like I don't know if he was super into her. It was enough to go on a second date, but it also sounds like she was kind of the reason that the third date didn't happen between the two of them. But his phone, not only has he been on at least 600 first dates, he also has more than 1,000 women's numbers
In the
his
phone?
phone.
Oh,
Now that's
sounds
crazier to me.
gross.
That is insane
All
to
right,
me.
Well, okay, Isaiah, let me ask you one thing. We talked
Mm-hmm.
the other day about, say your friend breaks up with someone, you don't usually follow them on social media. You kind of sever that connection.
Mm-hmm.
But you said a lot of your friends don't, and you just stay friends, just
Yeah.
casual. So if you're dating someone for a couple of dates and you're done and you know this person's not going to continue, do you delete the phone number?
See,
Or
Nikki,
do you keep that forever?
the best part is you don't save it in the beginning.
No, that's not
You just
the
have the
answer.
number in there, and then if you get to a second date, then you can save their number. Don't commit to saving their number that early on. That's crazy.
Okay.
But if you do put their number in the phone, there's no way you're deleting that.
Even after a couple of dates, you're like, I'm never connecting with this person again. So you leave that many numbers?
You leave it in there because you just never know when you'll circle back.
Oh my gosh.
I actually see the value of why he would keep the 1,000 numbers. I'll tell you why. I've only deleted a couple numbers out of my phone in history. And you know which numbers they were?
Which ones?
Like the 2 breakups I went through.
Yeah.
Other than that, I still have people in my phone. I don't even know who they are.
Don't
but
you
I put their
believe
phone
in-
number in.
Digital cleaning, you're supposed to clean up your digital world.
It is
Why?
crazy.
What's it hurting?
What's it hurting?
What is
It's
it harm?
wild. If you go through like my contacts, I would have no idea
Who they are?
Yeah.
It
so
would be
why-
like Ashley, Katie, Jeff. I'd be like, I don't know.
So
like
why
I don't
don't
know.
you just delete them then?
Because what's the harm of having them there?
Because then you have the upper hand
Because-
when they text you back and they want to start something again. You're like, who's this?
But see, that's
true.
why I keep especially if I was going on a bunch of first dates, I'd keep those numbers just because if they circle back way in the future,
Yeah.
then at least oh, that's who this is.
Well, if you
instead of
ever-
having to jog your memory, because it's probably hard to keep track
So, like,
of 600 women.
Absolutely. Let's say you were going on your 50th date and you really like someone. Like you've been together for a while, you've met your family, all this stuff, and,
Yeah.
and you're like, hey, can I borrow your phone for a minute? I want to look up a number, and you go through and you see like thousands of women. It's going to come off the wrong way.
Well,
no, that just shows that you're a killer. Like, what do you want? It shows you're a man.
I'm sure somewhere between date 1 and date 50, if this guy ever happens to get there again, he'd go through and delete the
He would just be like, sweetheart, look at me. I had all these options and I picked you.
And I had an article in the New York Post about me, so
Yeah.
it's not like his history is not going to be out there for everyone to see. You know? She knows
Also,
what
this
she's getting
guy,
into.
I mean, this is wild. It'd be one thing if he was like he's like a stud.
You're right. How is he?
Like
He doesn't look
I
bad.
think
He's
he
just
doesn't look
older.
bad,
Yeah.
but he doesn't look like if I said this guy's been on a date with 600 different women, you would be like stud. This guy here, it sounds like he's being just like a wee bit too picky,
Yeah.
and he has this image in his head of the girl he's supposed to be
Dang.
with, and then he hasn't looked in the mirror recently and
Does he
seen that
not
maybe not.
look a little bit like Ricky Gervais?
Yeah.
He does.
He does.
Sure.
He does.
And everyone would be shocked if Ricky Gervais had been on 600 First Dates.
With 1,000 numbers in his phone.
Well, I'm
for
going to
sure.
leave this article with perhaps today's a good day for a little digital organization of removing some old numbers so it's not so cluttered.
Here's my last question. How many first dates is too many then?
Too many?
Yeah. When do you look in the mirror and say, I think I've been on too many first dates. I need to change my ways.
I don't think you need to be on 600 to start asking
Well,
that
I
question.
know, but there's between 1 and 600.
I'd say
I don't know. It depends how
100.
old you are. This guy's 43. He's averaging 30 dates a year if he started at 23.
Yeah.
He also
Which
was
is-
married for 5 years.
Which is pretty aggressive.
Oh,
That
he was already married?
No, he's averaging like 40 dates a year. That's
This
so
is-
aggressive.
I'm assuming 600 dates since he was divorced in 2011. So 12 years.
and then-
Oh,
he was-
jeez. That's so many dates a year.
I'm not saying he is a red flag, but he
What is
is
that,
a
like?
flag of some sort.
Like
He's
50
wasting
dates a year?
money.
That's
That's
like every
crazy.
weekend he's going out.
You know how expensive it is to take girls on dates? That's crazy.
and
What
he
a
lives
waste
in
of
New
money.
York. That's even more expensive.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
Would you rather Wednesday? The question today comes from William. He texted into 8772 Radio U with the question, would you rather be amazing at one thing, better than 99.9% of people at one thing, but suck at everything else where 99.9% of people are better than you at every other thing? Or would you rather be average across the board where literally it's a 50-50 split? Everything you ever try,
You're never amazing,
you're never amazing.
but you're not awful.
You're always perpetually in the middle.
So Jocelyn said, I'm going to go with the first option, thinking more like that one amazing thing you would do would be almost your superpower of sorts. So there's an option there.
Got
Matthew
it.
said average at everything.
Okay.
Andy says, I always tell people I know a little bit about a lot of things. So I guess that's going with average.
Okay.
Matt says average. There's too many things I like, and I'd be disappointed to be bad at them. And then Jamie says, because I went with average.
Yeah.
Jamie said, though, I'm with Nikki. I feel like I'm already average at most stuff, and I'm pretty happy with life. That's a good call there, Jamie.
Yeah, I disagree.
You are going with the amazing thing?
I'm going with amazing. Here's the thing you don't understand, Nikki, that most people don't get to experience what it's like to be amazing at one thing. I'm really lucky that I have gotten
Well,
that.
here it comes.
That I've
Here
been
we
able. Now the difficulty is when you're so amazing at one thing, then you have the burden of having to do that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like there's no way I could get out of radio. But I feel like
'Cause
I'm
it's your
already
burden?
Yeah, because I'm better than 99.9% of people. So I feel like I'm already living this kind of.
Sure.
But yeah, that's what I'm going with.
But okay, say you're amazing at radio.
Uh-huh.
But what if? Because now you're average at everything else. But what if everything else you sucked
Yeah,
at? So like you couldn't drive, you can't dress yourself, like you can't
Dress
do,
yourself.
You
And
can't
Nikki,
do
Nikki, you're
anything.
describing his life. Look at him. Look at him.
even worse than it is now. Everything else you'd be awful at.
Well, this is a difficult truth, but if I got to pick the thing I was amazing at, it would be radio.
Yes, there you go. That's the real kicker there.
Well, Isaiah, would you be amazing at one thing, or would you want to just be average at everything?
See, I feel like I'm like definitely in like that average right now. I'm average at a lot of things.
Charitable.
And a bunch of people in the comments as well felt they were really average at a lot of things, which is such a common thing. So for me, I think I would just pick one thing to be amazing at, just to experience it. Like everyone's like, I'm pretty happy with my life, whatever. And I don't really want to live like an average life. I want to be great. I want to be great at one thing. I want to be a singer.
That's what you want?
You think Beyonce has to be good at anything except for singing?
That's
no.
true.
No.
Rihanna? No. Ed Sheeran? You think Ed Sheeran's good at anything except for singing?
So if you think about that way, then so if you surround yourself with everybody else to cover all the other stuff you can't do, and you just focus on the one amazing
That's
thing.
what I was thinking. I was thinking if I got to choose, I might pick like really great at money management or whatever, because then I could just pay people. I'd be able to manage my money to be able to pay people to do other things for me
And no one
that I
knows
needed done.
But you're awful at everything else.
Yeah, because it's just like, no, I just have a servant to do that. I pay them the appropriate amount where they are happy, and also my job gets done.
Don, thanks for texting. What if the one thing, though, you're amazing at is sucking at everything? So, Don, don't take apart the would you rather question like that, all right?
If you get to be amazing at one thing, you get to pick it for sure.
Sure.
And that's what I would do.
I'm for
right.
sure going to be a singer. I'm going to have assistants. I'm going to be famous. It's going to be amazing. I can't
Okay,
wait.
I just don't think we realized with this question of the morning that that how bad you are at everything else.
I don't think,
I'd trade anything for
Since
fame. Look at me. I'm on the radio.
since everybody assumes we're average at everything, I don't think we realize how much we suck at things.
Yes, maybe.
It's the riot.
Thanks, William, for your Would You Rather Wednesday question.
The Riot. Radio U.
We're all familiar with the term guilt tipping. You heard of that?
Yeah.
Isaiah?
When they're right there and they, ask, what would you like to tip? And it's guilty.
Yeah, even not necessarily the person, but just the fact that they're like, they turn
Always
the screen
asking.
around to you and just say, now the iPad is just going to ask you for a quick response or whatever. Yeah, where you're just kind of, it's not leave a tip if you feel like it. It's you have to make the conscious decision to say, no, I don't want to tip.
And a lot of times guilt tipping is kind of tied into places where you don't feel like you were tipping to begin with. And now it's an option.
Yeah, boy, is that the truth, because now guilt tipping is not just an issue at, the coffee shop or sandwich shop or wherever you might expect it at this point. It's also making its way to self-service kiosks.
Like self-checkout?
Yeah.
Why? I mean,
Like-
you're doing it. Are you tipping yourself?
Actually, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yes.
You should get a discount. I know. You have family members that say that are like, are they going to pay me to bag my groceries now? Is that what's going on? That is how this, if anything, should work. But listen to this. Listen to this fool. I got a 28-year-old guy here. Went to a self-service beer fridge at San Diego's Petco Park, home of the Padres.
Mm-hmm.
It asked him for a tip. Self-service beer fridge. He left 20%.
20%?
Wild.
What a fool.
It's expensive anyways. And self-service
it's
stuff.
a beer fridge at a baseball game in California. The beer was probably like $18, and then he put 20% on
He
top
paid
of
the
that.
tip, or was he just
No,
mad?
he said he did it.
Why would you?
He said he didn't even know where it was going, but he did it anyways. He felt guilty.
Wild. Guilty for what? I don't even understand.
You
I
just-
hate this so much.
Do you feel guilty that there's someone involved in getting the item to the self kiosk that you should be tipping or needs your support or something?
Wild.
I don't know. It's just, I guess it's for some people, it's hard to say no. Or listen to this. This is a good quote. Garrett Bamiller is a 26-year-old who said, just the prompt in general is a little bit of an emotional blackmail.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to put it. It just feels like it's making you feel like the jerk for saying no, even though I don't think I would feel like a jerk if nobody's standing there.
Yeah. Well,
But when they're
no one
looking
did the
at you, it's a little
service.
tough because I feel like they know, even though they turn the screen around, and they know where your finger's going. They know where the no button
But
is.
what do I owe you? What do you mean? I just
think
bought the product.
There isn't even a you in this case.
I
think
know, it's crazy.
It's not. It's just the place trying to get more money for the item. They either, charge more, they keep the prices going up and up, or in order to stop that, they hope to get a little extra money by trying this tip thing.
Whenever I see a tipping thing at a place where it shouldn't be, it makes me so much less likely to tip. It's wild. If you had a jar, I was at an ice cream restaurant and they had a little tipping thing, no way I'm picking up on that thing. There's no way I'm giving you $1 on the little tipping thing when you shove it in my face. 0% chance. If you had a jar there, like you should. Because a jar, that's a special thing. Like if I put the dollar in the jar, that's real special.
You let
if
your kids drop the coins in it, whatever,
then I'm more,
they feel like they're doing something cool.
There's still a low chance I would do that, but it would be more likely than you shoving that 20% in my face after you just scooped an ice cream cone, which is your job to do.
This bothers me.
Crazy.
I just want to let you know, Isaiah goes to a particular ice cream place that does the guilt tipping, and
Every
it
time.
bothers him every time.
Like, what is your job? I don't understand. If it's not scooping the ice cream, I have to give you a tip to do your job. It's crazy.
Well,
It's
remember
wild.
these terms: tipflation, tip creep. It's really just places trying to get extra income. So it's not even sure if it's a self-serve kiosk. That's not going to a worker. It's just going to the place.
That's crazy.
So let's figure this out. What's the devil's advocate argument for this?
There is none.
For the
There has to be.
self-checkout's egregious.
There
That's
is none.
crazy.
There must be something.
There's not.
Let's come up with one.
No.
Let's put our heads together.
I can't imagine who am I tipping? The Coke guy that delivered the Coke to the rest? Like, I don't
Oh,
understand.
he
To the-
deserves it. He's driving
Clearly.
around.
It's not going to him.
He is only getting paid, several dollars an hour, a living wage, well above minimum wage.
But the process to get it there hasn't changed. They're just wanting more money for the thing that was set up already.
Greedy. Wild. Insane.
See, again, he's really mad about the
I
ice
hate
cream
this.
place.
Don't say we didn't warn you. This is the worst of the riot.
Here's a chance for Nikki to air her grievances because Nikki's been heated about Robert De Niro, 79 years old. He just welcomed a new child into the world.
A baby?
Yeah, a little baby
Are you
with his.
clapping?
Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
Yeah,
I don't hang out with kids a lot, or people that have kids.
Or 79-year-olds?
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's a congratulations moment, right? It's a seventh child.
Well, I think this purely comes by us reading so many news sources.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of times we don't pass these news stories on because, it's usually like Hollywood style stuff and we don't really do a lot of that.
Yeah.
And I am all for you love who you love, and that's fine. Sometimes age is a thing, but he is 79 years old and she's in their 40s, I think.
Uh-huh.
It's just hard seeing age gaps that are so big.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that is icky to me.
This is wild. His oldest daughter is 51.
I
Yeah.
know.
And he's about to have a 0-year-old.
And I think that's really icky. So I have had a tough time with this one.
Who was he? Who was the girl that who was his girlfriend? or whatever?
Her name
She-
is Tiffany Chen. She's like she is like a martial arts coordinator or
Got
something.
her.
That's how
And
they met in a
they-
movie.
Film producer. I've got it
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
They met in The Intern, which was an old Robert De Niro movie. And
Oh, how romantic!
I also don't like it. I also don't like because I think he was already still married at that time. I don't like stuff like that.
Well,
I think
that's
it feels very gross. So.
unfortunate. But it's not like she knew what she was getting into.
I know. I think I'm more icked at Robert De Niro, honestly.
Well, wouldn't you date somebody 20 years younger if you or 30 or 40 years younger when you're 79?
No.
I feel like once you get to a certain age, then everybody's just the same.
Who's the
And
one
you don't
guy?
care.
Who's the old actor who was in like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and stuff?
Dick Van Dyke.
Okay, so I think
Don't act like you don't know that.
Okay, first I don't, but he also icks because I think he has a really young wife, even though I think she's in her 50s. But they're so old.
Yeah.
It always looks like they're with their assistant.
Well, listen, what's he like? He's probably like 90 years old. There's probably not that many
His
options.
wife does look way younger than him. I just looked it up. That's
Everybody
crazy.
looks way younger than him. He's like 100 years old.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is crazy.
So icky. I don't like that stuff.
The,
But she can see him too. She knows what he looks like.
I know, but it feels like they're just taking
look,
care
look,
of
look.
the old
Nikki,
person.
even better.
I mean, she likes taking care of him.
I can't look at that stuff. I have a real problem with such big age gaps.
I think it's really cute.
You're going to think differently when you're 80 years old. You're going to be like, man, I wish I had a
No, it's
40-year-old husband.
To take care of me
Yeah.
because I'm in my 80s. I can't. This one's been very hard.
The wild thing is, this is what's crazy.
What's crazy?
Is if I do it like the Dick Van Dyke or Robert De Niro way, my wife may not even be born yet.
There's this old
I gotta
SNL
wait till I'm
sketch about
60.
that. Yeah, that's it. So,
Yep.
congratulations to
Yeah.
him. But I guess he's never been a favorite actor of mine anyway, so I'm not too disappointed. But I just am disappointed about the numbers.
The age gap
floating
is
around.
crazy.
It
That's
is
a lot.
crazy.
Like 29 years, that's nuts.
And that's not even as bad as for other actors. So
Uh-huh.
we've seen bigger
nuts.
age gaps.
Man,
Someone's listening right now. They're like, my wife's 30 years younger than me.
No, no one's that old.
You're right.
though.
Nobody does that
No
except for
one.
celebrities.
Like
Nobody does that.
A 5 or 10 year, like, what's the big deal about that? But like, he's 79.
What's
so.
a big age gap for a normal person? I don't even know.
Just
Like
a couple years is normal.
Yeah, I mean, that's a normal one. I don't know. I can't think of any normal people, like a normal everyday Joe, that's like a 25-year age gap with their
No,
girlfriend.
I think like 10 is the most like common I get. Like, you know, where I commonly know people that would do that, but, you know, like adults, like older now. But yeah.
Other than
All right.
celebrities, they don't do that.
When you're younger, you can only go down so
Yeah,
much.
exactly. So you gotta wait till you're older.
That is spot on. All right, it's just icky.
It's the riot.
Oh, this is the new segment. This is Nikki's icky.
Oh, I like that.
Wasn't that a great riot clip? While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.